This week will be a manifestation of the government's failure to follow the 6P principle. Prior preparation prevents piss poor performance. What's your question?
The childcare package announced yesterday, the big ban, does that look likely to have your support?
Well, the childcare package is interesting. First of all, it's supposed to be funded by $4.5 billion of reductions in the family tax benefit eligibility. I don't think the government's going to win that argument. I don't think the government's going to win that argument because there are some members of the Senate, including Labor Party and the Greens, and a number of my crossbench senators, crossbench colleagues, who think the family tax benefits are worth keeping. I don't. I think they should be wound right back. But the government can't afford the childcare package, which is $3.5 billion, unless those family tax benefits savings are achieved. So where's the money going to come from for that? I don't think it's going to get them. If you take them by themselves, they are a small step in the right direction compared to what was proposed before. Better targeting, but really, do people on $340,000 a year need childcare support? I can't see it myself. I think better targeting means aiming this sort of subsidy at genuinely low-income people who would not otherwise return to work without the subsidy. That's really what the purpose of it is. Unless it's going to get people back into the workforce, women in particular, back into the workforce, why are we doing it? We're handing out other people's money for what purpose? For no benefit other than the fact that they had children. Not sufficient reason by itself.
What do you think of the activity test? Is that something that...
Yeah. Well, again, the activity test relates to the purpose of childcare. What is it? To give mums a break from looking after their little darlings? Or is it to get mums back into the workforce so that they can retain their job skills, earn an income, pay tax, all those sorts of things? I would have thought it was the latter. Giving mums a break from looking after the kids, the mums might like it, but there's no justification for everybody else paying for that.
And final question, final sort of week of the year. Two questions. What are you excited and are we likely to see anything happen this week?
The government's going to pretend that every piece of legislation on the agenda is urgent this week, which, as I said before, is evidence that it hasn't heard of the 6P principle. Prior preparation prevents piss poor performance. They haven't prepared very well, so what we're going to see is some very scrappy attempts to try and catch up on some of their bills, which they should have brought forward many weeks ago.
The grandparents' benefits being restored as part of the package.
Yeah. There are some grandparents who are doing a great job looking after their grandkids, and they do need recognition. Whether they need other people's money in that recognition is a moot point. I'd be questioning whether it's a childcare subsidy that they require. If they are genuinely low income, then I think there are other ways in which they can be assisted. Assistance to grandparents for childcare, what is the purpose of it? Is to get the grandparents back into the workforce? Obviously not, if they've got no activity test. Why are we funding childcare? There's been no reasonable explanation. Why are we funding childcare other than to get people back into the workforce? It makes no sense.